Hi friends, welcome. Today I'm going to talk about the two ways we perceive the universe and ourselves too. The two realities of the world. One is material reality, the visible layer in the universe, and the other one is spiritual reality, the invisible layer in the universe. Why is it important to understand these two realities and how that knowledge can help us experiencing joy and fulfillment in life? Let us discuss that today. Before that, please click the subscribe button if you haven't and turn on the notifications bell so that you won't miss any videos in future. When we develop a worldview based on the pleasure and pain we experience through our senses, that becomes our material reality. For example, I touched a fluffy animal, and that gives me some pleasure, some happiness. The feel gives me happiness. That is the material reality. Similarly, imagine you are at a beach and you look at a beautiful view that gives you pleasure. That's again your senses coming in contact with the material world. So every time your senses come in contact with the material world, you experience either pleasure or pain, and that becomes our reality. The pleasure and pain is not only limited to the direct contact with the material world, but also when you contemplate about the material gains, material possessions, fame, fortune, social status, that also gives you some pleasure. And that is also a material reality. You're building a reality of your life based on these material possessions. Let us see how this influences our personal and social life. On a personal level, we make this material reality a foundation of our life. In short, we base our ambitions, goals, objectives in life, idea of happiness, our desires, everything on the material reality. Material gains equals success or status equals happiness. This is the idea we live by, and we strive really hard to keep achieving these material possessions, keep achieving fame, fortune in life. However, the question is it permanent? Does it give you permanent happiness? We also live by the standards of society, the material standards of society, which is in general, the financially rich people are happier, and financially, the people who are in financial scarcity are not as happy. These are the certain ideas that we live by, and we constantly keep trying to chase pleasure after pleasure after pleasure, gain more material possessions, work hard, strive hard to improve our financial status. That becomes our exclusive reality of life, nothing else. And we do everything, anything to achieve these goals. Because for us, for the people who believe exclusively in material reality, there is nothing beyond it. What we experience through our senses is real, and there is nothing beyond it. That is the idea we live by if we make material reality or exclusive reality of our life. This has a very deep impact on our social life as well, because everything in the material world is different, and based on those differences, we form our opinions, our choices, our decisions are driven by these differences. If material reality is only exclusive reality for a person, when he meets someone, the first thing he would observe is how does he look, what is his color, his race, his background, financial status, social status, his religious views, political views. And based on all these factors, our behavior changes. Behavior from person to person changes. So these factors drive our relationship with the person, our behavior with the person. That's why we usually respect a person who has higher education, who is popular, who has fame and fortune, and we don't value as much a person who is living in a financial scarcity, who is living an average life, and we think this person in society is not as valuable as the person who has fame and fortune, because we see these differences in the material world and we make them our reality. Our behavior also changes from person to person. We will never be able to connect with people on a deeper level beyond these differences, because that's the end. Because that is the reality. In my opinion, if I believe that material reality is the only reality, then that ends right there. You see a person and you form an opinion based on his color, race, religion, and that's the end of it. We cannot connect with the person on a deeper level. We'll always be discriminating people, discriminating everything in the universe. This also affects us on a personal level. We discriminate ourselves too. How do we do that? We evaluate ourselves based on the material possessions, based on the social status, based on our job, our status in society, our financial status, our race, our color, our religion. We ourselves evaluate based on these factors, and we could either develop inferiority or superiority complex based on these factors. In both cases, that will lead to major deprivation of happiness, joy, and fulfillment in life. That is a very negative way of looking at life. Am I saying the material reality has no value in life? No. This is important because this is the very real dimension in our life. We cannot ignore that. But we must be able to look beyond this material world, this material dimension. That is spiritual world, spiritual dimension. That way we'll be able to connect with people on a deeper level, also connect with us, ourselves as well on a deeper level. Every material existence in the universe is driven by a strong, invisible forces, the eternal, immortal forces. There is this supreme energy, supreme forces, the supreme reality that animates this entire universe, the reality that is in me, that is in you. And we are all connected through this supreme eternal force. We came from the force and will return back to the force, back to that supreme reality, back to the supreme force, supreme energy. That is the fundamental idea of in the spiritual world, that we all are connected by this eternal supreme force and supreme values. So we must learn to look beyond this material existence and connect with everything in the universe through this powerful supreme force. Try to recognize the supreme reality in the universe. Recognize the energy, the force that is driving every single material object, including human beings, animals, living, non-living things in the universe. So when we make these supreme values and the idea that we all are connected by one supreme reality, one supreme force, that's when we'll be able to connect with ourselves and also with people on a deeper level. We build our goals, ambitions, desires, our lifestyle based on the values instead of material gains. That brings us closer to experiencing fulfillment, because when we make material gains a way of experiencing pleasure, that pleasure is temporary, so we keep chasing after pleasure and pleasure and pleasure and burden ourselves with this idea that we must always be in this chase, and we grow impatient and we develop insecurities and fears when we don't get what we want. Even the idea that we may not get what we want can make us insecure. But when we connect with the values and when we make values a foundation principle of our life, we'll never feel insecure of life because we know that because we evaluate our life based on the values, not on the material gains. We know material gains are temporary, they can come today, they can go, but the values are permanent. And values become a driving force of our life. If values become driving force of our life, we'll automatically get material success as well, because that will reset our mind to achieve greater things in life, greater than what we would imagine when you only live in material reality. That's the glory, that's the power of the spiritual world. On a social level, we'll never discriminate anyone else, anyone, based on color, race, religion, political views, social status, financial status, because we know that the other person is also same as me. Unity, I am one. Empathy, I am them. We all are equal. That means the other person, irrespective of his financial status, irrespective of his social status, he has same insecurities, same fears, desires, passions, ambitions, goals like I do. That makes us equal. What we see in the material world is only a superficial existence. But on a deeper level, when you connect with the values, everything changes. Everything is very different and we all become equal. And I will also never discriminate myself as well. I will never overburden myself with the idea of material gains because I believe I begin to evaluate my life and my personality based on the values, not on the material gains. That's when we'll be able to achieve great deal of success and fulfillment. I hope you understand the differences and make spiritual reality a foundation, these supreme values, a foundation principles of your life, and then the material world will become a supplementary, material reality will become a supplementary force, supplementary joy for you. That when you'll experience, you will find success both on a spiritual level and also on a material level. And you will experience true fulfillment. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day.